Speaking at the Pakistani embassy in London, the High Commissioner explained why celebrating the anniversary of his country's independence is so important.
We got our independence after a long struggle, and it was a democratic struggle. Pakistan came into being through a vote, not through a war or civil war. And it came into being with the objective of being a model of a modern, progressive, liberal state in the Muslim world. It was the biggest when it came into being. It was the largest Muslim country in the world. But then, after 1971, East Pakistan became Bangladesh. So we have very fond memories of how it was created and how the founder of Pakistan, Mr. Jinnah, Quaid-e-Azam as we call him, led the movement very democratically on the parliament, legislative platforms, and through efforts, peaceful efforts rather, not anything agitational as such. So we are, democracy is rather ingrained in our blood. And Mr. Jinnah used to say that it is part of Islamic blood to have an equal society for all people, irrespective of their caste, creed, or color. And that was the aim of his, and that is what we want to revive now, because we had few periods when we lost the track from his ideology. And so we are now coming back to it.
The High Commissioner said Pakistan's position on the international stage is defined by it being in the front line in the war against terror.
Now we have this problem, terrorism is there, and Pakistan has become epicenter of terrorism. So we are now in a very serious situation at the moment, and we are trying to fight it out. And the democratic government has its own strategy. It feels that it cannot be fought and combated successfully without winning the minds and souls of the people, minds and hearts of the people who are there living in the north and who are directly affected by this war on terror. And as you must have noticed, that we are facing the main brunt of the war. We are losing our men, both in collateral bombings from across, plus our own operations. They lead to a lot of casualties. But it has become a sort of necessarily evil that we have to pursue and carry on an operation in order to save ourselves, because we consider this war against terror is not the war of the West, it is our war.
Mr. Hassan said everything was being done to combat the Taliban on the Pakistan-Afghanistan border.
Well, we have got 80,000 troops fighting them, and we have got our own local people now joining this effort. This is immediately after the formation of a democratic government that things have changed. People are also coming forward to protect their rights, because they now feel that they will have these stakes in democracy. They will be shareholders. They will be getting benefits of their own representative government, their own representative local bodies that will, bring about qualitative change in their life. For example, they don't have hospitals, they don't have proper schools, and they don't have roads and other facilities that will be provided to them now. We have a very extensive program by the government, and it is going to implement it as we get some space.
The High Commissioner was keen to stress that Pakistan's relations with the UK are excellent.
The British government, as a matter of fact, understands our point of view. They support our three-pronged strategy to resolve the terrorist problem, and they have been supporting our negotiations with those people who can be won over to our side, and that is a major, help from the British government. Besides the funding that they have been doing into various projects in, setting up education institutions, alternate to madrasas that were producing jihadis. So all these things put together, and economy as well. They're also helping us train our frontier constabulary and all those people who are involved in the war against terror. So we are very happy, satisfied with the British role in Pakistan's economy, and as well as in various other sectors, which they are helping us to move forward.
Mr. Hassan said he was happy with his country's progress and spoke about the future of the President, General Musharraf.
Now he's on his way out. As a matter of fact, the elections that we held, which was credible because army decided to keep out of it and let them have a neutral sort of independent election and credible election. That is what we had in Feb last. And the whole objective was to restore democracy in the country, real democracy, with all powers, supremacy of the parliament and the judiciary, independence to the press, and freedom to all communities to live peacefully in the country. And we feel that we are now nearer the objective because General Musharraf is on his way out. And we think that by enforcing the constitution and the supremacy of the parliament, we can manage a lot of things that we have not been able to in the past. We could redress the grievances of the people, the difficulties that they have been facing.
But Mr. Hassan said his country should look forward to a bright future, starting with the independence celebrations.
We are having a community function here at the High Commission. We'll hoist the flag and read out the speech messages from the President, the Prime Minister, and I'll say a few words on the occasion. And then we'll have some music and some children will sing songs. And we will have some sort of sweets will be distributed and the people will have a nice time in here at the embassy.
Now in his second term in the job, the High Commissioner is still working hard to continue his country's good relations with the UK.